Pam Bondi walked confidently into the packed event, her sharp intellect and poised demeanor setting her apart. The audience watched as she made her way to the stage, unaware that a heated moment was about to unfold. Bondi, known for handling public scrutiny with grace, was prepared for anything, or so she thought. As she reached the podium, a prominent liberal journalist stepped forward. Known for his controversial views and aggressive interview style, he had clearly planned a public confrontation. With cameras rolling, he adjusted his microphone and smirked, ready to make his move. "Pam Bondi," he began, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "As someone who preaches about values, how do you justify your stance on such a controversial issue?" His question was sharp, designed to provoke a reaction and catch her off guard. Bondi met his gaze without flinching. She'd faced tougher critics before. The audience leaned in, sensing the tension in the air. All eyes were on Bondi, waiting to see how she would respond to the pointed attack. Rather than react emotionally, Bondi stayed calm. She had learned long ago that staying composed was the key to winning public exchanges. She took a deep breath and listened carefully to the journalist's words. As he continued, the journalist accused her of hypocrisy, questioning her integrity and challenging her track record. His goal was clear: to embarrass Bondi in front of the crowd and score a viral moment. When he finished, the audience murmured, anticipating Bondi's response. Some expected anger, others anticipated a defensive outburst. But Bondi surprised everyone by remaining completely composed. She straightened her posture, raised her microphone, and began speaking with quiet confidence. Her voice was calm and measured, each word deliberate and precise. She wasn't here to argue, she was here to state the facts. Point by point, Bondi dismantled the journalist's argument with logic and clarity. She addressed his accusations head-on, providing evidence to back up her stance and calmly debunking his claims. Her tone remained respectful but firm. She didn't need to shout or belittle him. She let her facts do the talking. The audience listened in silence, captivated by her poise and intelligence. As Bondi continued, she shifted the conversation, subtly turning the tables on the journalist. "You accuse me of bias," she said, "but have you ever examined your own?" Her question landed with precision. The journalist blinked, momentarily thrown off. He hadn't expected Bondi to challenge him so directly. He tried to interrupt, but Bondi wasn't finished. She continued, keeping control of the conversation. Bondi spoke about the importance of civil discourse and the dangers of sensationalism. "We don't move forward by attacking each other," she said. "We move forward by discussing ideas with respect and honesty." The audience, which had initially been divided, began to shift. People leaned in, nodding in agreement as Bondi's message resonated. She wasn't just defending herself, she was making a larger point. The journalist attempted to regain control, but it was too late. Bondi's calm, fact-based approach had turned the tide. His smirk had disappeared, replaced by uncertainty. The crowd could see it too. The tension in the room was palpable as Bondi delivered her final point. She looked directly at the journalist and said, "You may not agree with me, and that's okay. But let's have these conversations with respect, not mockery." A brief silence followed her words. For a moment, it seemed as though the room was holding its breath, absorbing the impact of Bondi's calm but powerful statement. Then, slowly at first, the audience began to applaud. The applause grew louder, and soon people were rising to their feet, giving Bondi a standing ovation. Bondi smiled graciously, nodding to the audience. She hadn't sought applause or validation. She had simply spoken her truth, and the impact was undeniable. The journalist, meanwhile, shifted uncomfortably. His attempt to mock Bondi had backfired. Instead of embarrassing her, he had given her a platform to shine. As Bondi left the stage, people approached her, thanking her for her words and praising her for staying composed under pressure. She handled each interaction with the same grace she had shown on stage. The moment quickly went viral. Clips of Bondi's stunning response spread across social media, with many praising her for standing up to the journalist's condescension. Commentators weighed in, noting how Bondi's calm, fact-based approach had turned the tables. She was hailed as an example of how to handle public criticism with dignity and strength. The journalist, meanwhile, faced backlash. Viewers criticized his unprofessional conduct and accused him of trying to ambush Bondi. His reputation took a hit. But Bondi didn't dwell on the controversy. She continued her work, undeterred by the attention. For her, it wasn't about winning or losing, it was about standing firm and speaking her truth. In the days that followed, the exchange remained a hot topic. People debated the merits of civil discourse and the dangers of turning every disagreement into a spectacle. Bondi's response inspired many, particularly young women who saw in her a role model for handling difficult situations with strength and composure. Through it all, Bondi remained steady. She continued to focus on her work, staying true to her values and refusing to be distracted by the noise. The journalist struggled to regain his footing. His attempt to mock Bondi had backfired spectacularly, leaving him with a damaged reputation and unanswered questions. For Bondi, the experience was a reminder of why she did what she did. She wasn't in it for the headlines or the applause. She was in it to make a difference, and on that day, she had. Her response became a lesson in poise, patience, and the enduring power of truth. It wasn't about shouting the loudest, it was about speaking with conviction and grace. In the end, Bondi's stunning response left an indelible impression. For those who had witnessed it, the impact lingered, serving as a reminder that true strength lies in calm, rational debate.